leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
Kia ora. Oh man, I'm a dick. Okay, start again. Kia ora and welcome to Sew Knit Create and Repeat. This is my knitting, sewing, spinning and whatever else podcast. My name is Carla. I'm coming to you from the east coast of the North Island of Aotearoa, New Zealand. And today is Friday, and I think it's the 6th of July. And I promised I'd be back in 2 weeks, and I'm back. So today we're in my sewing room. I've had a shuffle around. It looks a mess now because it's got all my projects in it to show you. But there's going to be some things in this one that are less knitting related. There is an update on my knitting, but last time I didn't really have enough time to sort of fill you in on some of the other things I've been up to. So I've written a little list because I actually thought, 2 weeks I'll have nothing to show, and it actually turned out that I actually have quite a bit to show you. So we're going to start off, I'll just run through things that I've been knitting, and then, here's me looking at my thing, some of the other bits that I've been up to, and then I've got a few acquisitions which are leading on to some future projects, so I'll show you those as well. So the first thing I'll show you, because I've been knitting on this probably the most out of any of my knitted projects, is my St. Catherine's cardigan designed by Kate Davies. If you've watched before, you'll know I'm knitting it in my own hand spun Romney, and yeah, so this is where we're at. I have finished both the fronts, I've joined the shoulders, and now I'm just knitting the first sleeve. It's probably only going to go that much further, then I'll do the second sleeve. And then I believe, I can't remember, I think you either pick up stitches around the edges of the band, or you do, there's like a wedge that you pick up across the bottom and you do a bottom wedge. So yeah, and then it'll be done. At the moment I'm spinning more of this dark brown, because I know I'll run out soon, and I've just finished and joined, this is my latest for the light coloured one. So yeah, so that's my St. Catherine's, and I'm really enjoying this because it's just plain knitting. Nothing much more to add, that's just a progress report. So I'll put that there, and that can go back in the lounge. I have done some more on Jess's Kuta pullover. Let's have a look. I don't want to, is that the right side? You know that moment when you're like, which is the right side and which is the wrong? So I think that's the right side there. Oh my god. Oh yeah, so that's the right side there. Now the neck does look really tight, but I'm sure it'll block out. I hope it does. Jess doesn't like tight things around her neck. So that's where that is. I haven't picked it up for a few days, so I probably have to do some of that today. So that's just a little update on that one. No point dwelling. And then the next knitting project is just a little quickie. Whoops. You may remember that I had offered to knit a jumper for my nana, and then she's come back and said, actually, don't worry about it. I'm 92 years old. I might die before it's done. And I don't really need another one. She's so funny. So I said to her, well, how about I knit you a pair of slippers like the ones that you used to make us? And she was quite happy with that. So I'm making another pair of these retro slippers. I finished mine, which I'm wearing now. They look a bit grotty. And I found that the split here was too low down my foot, so I actually picked up and crocheted around the edge, and it actually looks quite cool. But I don't think I'll have to do that with Nana's because I sort of know what I'm doing a little bit more. With mine, I only used 2 strands of wool held together, and I felt that around the ball of my foot it would probably get a little bit thin, so I just darned some more wool up and down, wove it in. You just add a bit more thickness. With Nana's, what I've done is I'm holding 2 strands across the sides, then I pick up a third one and use the third. I use 3 strands for the sole and then drop it and then carry on doing 2 for the edge and then pick it back up again, blah blah blah, like that. And that's just adding a really nice thick sole without too much bulk on the sides and the top. Yeah, so there's that one. That can go down there too. What else have I got? Let's just cross these off. I was going to bring the Battenberg. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It looks pretty much the same as you last saw. It has had extra squares added to it, but yeah, so we're not going to do that. I showed you my finished ones. Wow, 5 minutes in and we're already done all the no. So I might as well show you my sewing. So at the moment I'm making the Lichen Duster by Sew Liberated, which I've made before in a linen blend, just as a it's not outerwear, like you can wear it as a dress or just part of your outfit. But what I decided I wanted to do, sorry my nose is so itchy, I wanted to make an overcoat, an outside coat, but one big enough to be able to wear a jumper underneath it without the sleeves, you know, being too tight. So I've cut another pattern out 2 sizes bigger than the one that I had before. That's what the Lichen Duster looks like in the pencil drawing. I'm doing the one with the curved bottom hem. And I have purchased some wool, woven wool check from Draper's here in New Zealand. And oh, I just dropped something. And this is how far I've got. This is the fabric. It's very nice, very me. So I'm going to stand up so I can show you. So I've constructed the back with the, what do they call them? Gauze. So the gauze are the triangular strips that go in the back for the shaping. And then I have constructed each side front, which has got these really cool pockets and a gore there. I've just now attached the collar and the back facing, and I think my next move is, I can't remember, I've still got to do the sleeves, and then once all that is done, I'm going to get the pattern pieces, I'm going to get the pattern pieces, and I'm going to just trace out the front panel, the front side fronts, but in particular this section here, because I'm making a lining for it, but the lining obviously is not going to have the collar or the facing or anything. It's just going to be enough just to come to the facing and be tacked in. So this is the fabric that I've chosen for the lining. It's just almost a periwinkle blue satin, which I got from Backstreet Bargains. It's very nice. It's not too shiny. So I thought that those look quite nice together. So yeah. So I've just been doing that over the last couple of days, and I'm really enjoying it because I've changed my sewing room around. So the sewing table used to be on that wall, but now it's where you're positioned, and so when I'm sewing I can actually look out the window. It's really pretty, and it's just a bit more space in here. Hang on a minute, bear with. The thing that I dropped, it's another work in progress, and it is knitting, but it's kind of tied in with something else. So I've been doing some sock wool dyeing just to practice and come up with some few ideas for recipes. This is the first one I did, and I want to knit up a sample because I want to see what the pattern comes out like when knit into a sock, and I also want to see what the wear is like, because this is a yarn that I haven't used before. All the other ones I've got are a merino nylon from Ashford, but these ones are from another mill and might possibly be easier to get hold of. It's a very nice soft yarn, but I just want to see what it wears like. So I present to you, I'll insert a photo of what it looked like in the skein, but this I have named Night Circus. Hopefully you can see that, and this is what it's coming up like. And I just love all those colours. So I cast it on last night, and I just sat in front of TV and did that. And I'm using Chalgu shorties, which I've only just got, so I'll talk about that shortly. Yeah, so I wanted to see what those are like. So there's that one. So I might as well, while we're here, I'll talk about the other ones that I've dyed up as well. So that was Night Circus, and then I did 3 more. Now I've shown these to some knitty friends. You guys know who you are. Kelly jumped in straight away because she's been very good at naming things for me, and she gave some names and I really like them, so they'll stick. So this one, she's called Enchanted Forest. And this one is Crimson Tide. Now, when I dyed this first one, I wanted to experiment with overglazing with a black to see how it looked, and that was with a 3% mix of the black, and I thought I'll just see what it's like with a darker one and doing 2 skeins at the same time. So I did an 8%, which works out at like 4% I think for each skein, so it's slightly darker. And that was actually a yellow and a purple when I put it in, and yeah, this was like a cherry red and a blue, and so it's just darkened them up quite nicely. Yeah, so what can I, that's on the my Ashford sock, because I've got so much of that, just to see what those are like. And then this one here is called Pebble. And what I like about this one is I've done, I did like a silvery grey, and I experimented with speckles, and I used a spray bottle with some pink. So you actually see there's some speckles of the gold, and then every now and then you get this little bit, God, I'm probably not even showing you in the right place, a little bit of pink. And this was also named by Kelly, Pebble, and I think that's just perfect, absolutely perfect. So we're getting there with my creations. So I really I really enjoy trying all the different things out, and I've got a notebook and I've just been keeping notes on dye percentages and methods, and taking photos of them in the pan so I can see where the colour distribution is. And yeah, so it's all a little bit of a learning curve. So yes, that's the dyeing. And I think that is all the actual crafty stuff. But like I said, I do have a few acquisitions. So aside from the fabric that I bought for the coat, last time I didn't have time to talk about some of the other things I bought. So some of these things I've had for a little while. One of my future makes, which will be after the coat, is this, which is called the Sortel dress. I will endeavour to go onto Instagram and see if I can find their sample. I really like the way this is made up. It's got some nice details around the front. And I purchased also from Draper's, I believe, this lovely, it's like a velvet. I hope you can see that. It's sort of navy, but also almost got a bottle green look to it. Sorry, I'm burping. This has not been pre-washed yet, so I've got to do that too before I can cut that out. Yeah, so that'll be my next sewing project after I finish the coat. The coat is quite a lot of work because it is a really tailored piece. Right, so let's just cross that off my list. I did some shopping on AliExpress and I got some cool bits actually. I got this Swift. I checked the reviews first to see whether it actually was going to be because the first Swift I had, and it's somewhere, I don't know where it is, the first Swift I had is one of those wire and steel ones with the like blue rubber strips on it, and I just found it used to get caught, and the clamp never used to do it properly, and it just really annoyed me. And so then I was in town one day and I was at 10 Talents, which is one of our local kind of craft shops. It's a charitable trust. I bought a wooden one, which was handmade by a wood turner guy. But when you extended the umbrella bits out, they were only kind of secured by these little wing nuts, and they never, they didn't stay tight to tension the skein. So when I saw this, I thought, that's a bit of me. Because this cost me, was it 27 New Zealand dollars? So not much. Not much at all. And it's well made. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So I got that. And from the same company, I also purchased some sock blockers. They're just laser cut ply. They are very thin, and I'm really surprised that they've come all the way from China, and the Swift was in a box of bubble wrap, and then these were just kind of attached to the back of the box, and then they were all packaged up in plastic, and they didn't break. I'm really surprised, because there was nothing, like I would have thought they'd put some cardboard or something on either side just to keep it. So I was actually really lucky to get these in one piece, I think. So these are a size medium. They're 38 to 40 or a 7 to 9. So I thought it was just nice to have another set, and they didn't cost much. They were like $7 or something. I can't remember. But anyway, that seller will get good reviews, because the product is what it says it would be. And then while we're here, while I was at, I think I just had one of those a couple of weeks ago. I had quite a stressful week, and so when I have weeks like that, I do online shopping. Just try and calm myself down. So I bought this cross stitch kit too, with no sort of idea, logging truck, what it would be like, but it's actually come not too bad, and that wasn't much either. But it's got a nice little, hopefully you can see that, it's got a nice little lady witch looking up at an owl in a full moon. I thought that was quite pretty. Then I also got these, and these are also from AliExpress. But the buttons, these ones are wood and these ones are coconut shell. I've got some more, but they turned up at my old dress, so my old neighbours got them. I've got to go and pick them up. Don't even go into what happened there, but it was very annoying. Now these have all got different print, they're all printed, paint printed on them. So hopefully you can see that. Excuse my nails, I spent the afternoon out in the garden yesterday. There's one. There's another. And there's another one. Hopefully you can see that. There's actually quite a few different variations on that. And then on the wooden ones we've got, and there's a few variations in this as well, so we'll just, it'll be potluck what I show you. Can you see? No, you can't see. I'm not very good at this. Is that? If I'm holding them up not long enough, sorry. And then there's that one. I thought they'd just be, I don't know. They didn't cost me much, so I just wanted to try out. I thought rather than for clothing, they'd be more suitable for things like project bags and needle cases and pretty little bits and pieces like that. So I think that's all my AliExpress stuff, is it? Yes, yes, yes. Then I think I alluded last time to the fact that I had bought a big cross-stitch kit from Spotlight New Zealand, because, you know, I haven't done much. I have done that much, but I'll get there, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've got the picture in it. No. When I saw this, I fell in love. So I've always loved peacocks. So yeah. So when I get a chance, I'll be doing that. Very impulsive colour. That was probably another stress buy. That was another yeah. Oops, sorry. And the other day I was in town and I went to an op shop and they had these 50-gram balls of I'm trying to remember how you pronounce it because I know that most podcasters don't pronounce it properly, and I did Sarah from the It's a Sarah podcast, she actually said how you say this. Now I can't remember. You would all probably know it as sheepuse, but I think it's more like skipuse. Anyway, it's made in Holland, it says, or the Netherlands, and this is a 50-gram. They're 50-gram balls, 100% cotton. There's approximately 100 meters to 50 grams. They're quite an old looking label, I think, and I've got 6 balls. And they've got quite a nice sort of slubby texture. So I thought that'd be quite nice for a summer garment. That cost me $12, so it was $2 a ball, which I thought was quite good. So that was an op shop find. I was quite excited about that. I bought that last weekend. And then at the same time I went into our local craft shop in town, so not the same one that I get the fleece from. This is like it's a Banana franchise, but they've got new owners and it's just way nicer than what it used to be. So I bought some fat quarters. These are so that I can start having to play around with making needle cases. So I got these, quite like those colours. And I quite like this one's got Maleficent on it, and this one's got vintage motorcycles on it. And then just some other lovelies which are like that, if you can see them. But wait, there is more. Where is it though? Where did I put it? Excuse me bum, guys. Yeah. Lincraft, which is basically like another Spotlight, they were having a big 40% off everything sale a couple of weeks ago. So I also got some fabric from them. There's another peacock theme happening here. That was gorgeous. And I got this one. And then I got some books. Because the books were so cheap, I think they cost me like $7 for each book. I thought, what's there to lose? If they're not right, I'll donate them to the town library. And so I've had a flick through. Some of the patterns are not particularly size inclusive. I think you're looking at maybe 4 sizes for each one. But obviously when I purchased these, you know, I didn't know I couldn't look inside them. So it was just a risk. So there's warm days and cool knits. If I ever choose to make anything out of these, I'll let you know. This one's called Wear Downy Knit Couture. 20 hand knit designs from runway to reality. And so it's got a little bit of history, and then it's got some patterns, and once again these are small, medium, large. So there's that one. There's probably a reason why they were only like $7 each. And this one here is just the sock knitting book. Just because. Why not? Why not have them on my shelves looking posh? I told you guys this was an acquisition rich podcast episode, but I don't often have a lot of acquisitions to show you guys. So I've done that. Oh, and then the same visit at that craft shop that I was talking about with those fat quarters, they had a set with scissors, there was a thimble and a set of pins. These are birch ones, and I really wanted some really nice, just treat myself to some nice dressmaking shares, so I bought them. This is what happens when you grow up and you don't have kids to worry about and money to spend on kids. Spend it on yourself. And yeah, so I said I'd talk about these ChiaoGoo shorties. I've been kind of looking, I'd seen them on a few stash pages, and then on Trade Me, which is a New Zealand online marketplace. I found a lady was selling a set, brand new pretty much set of ChiaoGoo shorties. She had the red set and the blue set. She was selling them for $120 or $125. I can't remember which one. But considering they're, well, all of $200 New Zealand brand new, I thought, well, bargain. So I got the red set. I'm using the 2.25 2-inch needles for the sock that I'm testing. That's what they look like there. I mean, I knew they were short, but it was so funny when I pulled them out. I was like, you can imagine my face. Oh my God, they're so short. What a dick. And at first when I started knitting that little sock sample, I did find them a little bit hard because I've just been using the Eddie Crazy Trios, but I've still got my Viola Sands, my second Viola Sands sock on those needles. So give it a go. It's important to try new things. So I'm quite happy with that. So it's a full complete set. It's got the little pins and grippers and needle gauge in the front. The lady was really nice to deal with, and I just thought that is a bargain. So that's pretty much that. And then the last thing is not craft related at all. I bought some books for me to read. I was at the warehouse the other day, that was the day before yesterday, and I wanted to buy a little gift for my daughter, just a I love you gift. And so I bought her a little Psychman in a pot. And then I was going past the book section and I thought, oh, maybe I could see something that she likes. And I know she likes reading the Virgin River series, which is not my genre at all. And I knew that if there was a latest one out, she'd have it because she just orders them online. So I was on my phone Googling books similar to Virgin River. So I kind of got an idea of the titles and the authors, what kind of flavour it was, and then I just I found one that I think it's by Erica James that I thought, she might like this. Threw it in a gift bag and gave it to her. But then I got sucked in. So the first thing I saw for me was Jo Nesbø, Killing Moon. I absolutely love Jo Nesbø books. I haven't picked this up yet. This was full price. But I had to have it because I buy all his books. And it's another Harry Hole. Harry, as we say, Harry Hull. But Harry Hole, I think you say. Novel. If you don't know Jo Nesbø, he writes Norwegian crime novels. They're not all part of a series, but he does have a long-standing series with the main protagonist is Harry Hole, who is a policeman. He's got he's had a bit of a rough life. So yeah, I really enjoy his books, and I think that might be the 6 or 8% Norwegian heritage that's in my DNA. Coming out. What a dick. Then I got these ones here were, and including the one that I got for Jess, were all a part of a promotion where they were cheap anyway, and then they were buy one get second one half price. So this one here, I thought I'd see if Jess liked it, but then when I got it home and I kind of looked at the print and I thought, oh, it's a bit small. She might not, but I'll see what it's like, and so I can just donate it to my school library. That's called A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. And I'll read the back for you. In 1895, 16-year-old Juliet begins a passionate, doomed romance with a married artist. In 1932, aspiring actress Nora escapes New York for the bright lights of Hollywood and a new chance at love. In 1970, Californian musician Sandra's secret love affair threatens to tear her band apart. And in 2012, Helen is starting to remember the vivid details of lives that never belonged to her. Bound to her lover in 1895 and trapped by his side ever since, Helen has lived through multiple lifetimes. Only this time she might finally have the power to break the cycle. Stop it. So we'll see. We'll see whether I'm going to be dazzled, because it says prepare to be dazzled, but the cover's really pretty. The one that I've picked up and I've just got beside the bed because I figured it's a nice easy nighttime read is this one called Without a Trace by Jane Bettany. It's just a run-of-the-mill detective novel. I think it's based in the UK. I actually don't know this author, but give it a go. The rain was relentless. It stung Ruth Prendergast's face as she dashed towards her house, desperate to escape the cold and settle down for an early night. But upon entering her bedroom, dun dun, she finds a man lying on her bed with a knife buried in his chest. When Detective Isabel Blood and her sergeant arrive on the scene, Ruth claims she has never laid eyes on the victim before. But with no sign of a break-in, how did the killer gain access to the house? When Ruth disappears, leaving Isabel and her team to fear the worst, has their lead suspect escaped, or is Ruth in danger herself? Forensic evidence at the crime scene is sparse, and it's proving impossible for Isabel to make a breakthrough. With Ruth still missing, time is running out. Now, I've read 12 pages night before last, before I went to bed, and it's a good write. It's not it's not boring. It's good. It's got good writing style. That's all I can say 12 pages in, but I'm highly critical when I read the written word. And if I feel like the grammar's not good or the way they construct a story is sloppy, I get really pissed off and I criticize it the whole way through rather than actually focusing on the reading. So I think this will be alright. I'll let you know. And then I found this. Now, I watched this on Acorn TV. It's a subscription TV service which I subscribe to. If you haven't seen it, it's called The Miniaturist. It is honestly such a good TV series, so I hope the book's good too. So I'll read the back. It says, on an autumn day in 1686, 18-year-old Nella Ortman arrives at the grand house in Amsterdam to build her new life as the wife of a wealthy merchant, Johannes Brand. Though curiously distant, he presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. It is to be furnished by an elusive miniaturist whose tiny creations ring eerily true. As Nella uncovers the secret of her new household, she realizes the escalating dangers they face. The miniaturist seems to hold their fate in her hand, but does she plan to save or destroy them? It was a really good TV series. I loved it, but then I loved Old Houses too, so yeah, there's that one as well. And that, folks, is all my making, my buying, my doing, and yeah. So we're almost halfway through my school holidays. I've spent some time dyeing yarn. I've spent time sorting out areas around the house that need attention. I've been in the garden. What else have I been doing? We've got a guy and his wife, a couple I should say. They're coming to start painting the house next week. They've already purchased all the paint and brought it over, so they're going to start on the roof. And it's so nice because I've always done jobs like that myself. I've never painted a roof, but I have. Me and another guy, we painted a whole house once. He was a friend. And I've always decorated the inside of my homes too. But these guys are actually going to do the inside of the house as well. And once upon a time I would have gone, nah, I can do that. I've come to the conclusion where I have to accept that to do that would totally bugger me, and I have to understand my physical limitations now. So, and yeah, just keep it to what I can do. And so that will be purchasing fabric and making nice curtains for the spaces and things like that. So that's good. Also, our arch gola might be getting up soon. To be fair, they haven't really been able to do anything because of the heavy rain. But Evan came home early yesterday to dig. He had to dig the holes for the posts, and all the arches are in the backyard now. So the next few days I will be working around the house to clear tidy up around the deck where it's going to go up. I need to do some pruning of plants that are up against the house for the painting. And yeah, things like that. There's this really cool tool, and I can't remember what it's called. If I can remember, I will put the name of it on the screen here. And it looks like a little mini chainsaw, and it's like a handheld pruner almost, but it's got like a chainsaw thing. So I'm going to go and buy one of those today. Yeah, spent a couple of days this week just gone, like, and when I say a couple of days, I mean a couple of days where I went for maybe 2 hours each time to help Evan with the job at the workshop, doing some painting. So yeah, that has been life in the last 2 weeks, but I'm so glad for the holidays. The only problem with the holidays is I find that I have so many plans of things I want to do. I find it really hard to relax and really guilty for doing something for myself. Yeah. But yeah, I think I've waffled on long enough. I'm probably going to go and light the fire because it's actually clouded over. It's cooled right down. And then I probably should head into town, go and buy my choppy. What a dick. Okay guys, thank you for joining me. You can see when I do this, that's me scanning my mind to think whether I've forgotten something to tell you guys. If you've got any questions, if I've missed anything in the description box, please feel free just to ask the question. Don't forget to hit the like button, to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And yeah, take care. I will catch you next time. See you later.